Alright guys, I got the dirt all leveled out underneath the new section of the solar array cover slash woodshed slash maybe winter time storage for the mule if I don't come up with something better. I have like an hour and a half here before I'm gonna head out in the woods for the night. The sun is shining, but it's later in the day now, so we're not getting a ton of production from the stationary array anyway. So I think I'm going to tear this all off if I can before I go out in the woods. Alright guys, that took all of about 10 minutes. So here's our solar panels. I'll just show you how everything fared over the last, I can't remember if we built this in the fall of 2020 or the fall of 2021. I can't remember. Here's how things fared. So here's 7 of our Renogy panels. They're a little dirty. They need to be wiped off. But everything, other than just being out in the weather for 3 years, looks good. All the MC4 connections, you know, came on and off fine. No struggles there. Our wood, we did not use treated wood because we didn't have treated wood when we did this. And, you know, when we started doing all this, we were kind of broke because we had spent a lot of money. We just got married, bought this property, and we bought this piece of property. We spent larger chunks of money than we were used to, so we were doing everything on the cheap. But look how this held up over the last 3 years. Just non-treated wood, exposed to the weather. I didn't stain it, oil it, I didn't treat it in any way. This is just regular wood. But when I tell you this stuff, just keep in mind too, we do have harsh Michigan winters here. We do have humidity and stuff, but it is pretty dry up here on top of the hill. Like, we get a lot of sun exposure, a lot of wind, so things dry out quickly. So I feel like this may have only lasted 5 to 10 years if, you know, 5 years if it was in the woods where it's constantly damp, not drying out from the sun. Same thing with our cabin. Same thing with our cabin and our siding. I feel like everything's gonna last a lot longer because it's exposed to the sunshine and wind and dries out. Doesn't sit in the wood and in the woods and rot in the shade. But check this out. So guys, this is so simple. This is showing you how simple it could be. It took 10 minutes to take it down. All we have is 3 2x8s, 12 foot, one at the top, one in the middle, one at the bottom. Put the middle one wherever your 2 solar panels will meet, and then put 2x4s on the outside edge and the bottom and the top. I mean, this whole solar array cost 2x8s are what, 15-20 bucks now, so say 60 bucks plus some 2x4s, so 80 bucks for this array or this racking. It is, you know, showing a little wear and tear, growing mushrooms and cracking. Like right here, it's cracking. But this would have lasted another few years, no problem. Here's how ridiculous you might think I am, but here's why I think it's ridiculous how people complicate things. This thing is literally held on here with like 4 bolts. I literally just drilled 3/8 inch holes down through these 2x6 or 2x8s, and I only mounted it in 4 spots, 3 spots. Look, like, this isn't heavy, and there's no wind that gets underneath it. So look, This isn't even mounted. I never even put a bolt on here. Like this, literally one bolt on this side, holding this whole thing on. Not even one at the top. And then two over here. So 3 bolts holding this whole thing on. One there, and one right there. Alright guys, clean slate. I'm gonna go out in the woods for a few hours and we'll see you guys in the morning. Alright, I appreciate you sticking with me. I'm excited to get this array set up. See you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Look at those bad boys. Look at those bad boys. So today I'm going to show you how to build a solar racking system that's pretty simple. It's going to be just like our last solar rack that treated us really good for 3 years. Alright guys, so I have the bottom railing of the racking in. There is a little bit of a hump about halfway down the line on top of my woodshed. It's just because, I built this, pretty rough, and I wasn't anticipating a 20-foot run. I was anticipating a 12-foot run. So there's a little bit of a hump right in the middle. I'm gonna put a couple shims on, a couple treated 2x4 shims underneath this end and the other end to make it a nice straight run. That way our straight solar panels will stay straight and be in there nice and secure. right, way better. Might put one more on that side. Nice and straight now. So the solar panels are not sitting right against the metal. We're gonna put a 2x4 on here, right at the bottom. Right at the bottom, and then the solar panel is gonna rest on the second half of this 2x8. Then we just put one vertical on each end. All right, guys, I'm just going to use these 6-inch timber screws, like lag screws. To the bottom corner, all the way to the bottom corner.
The metal or the wood?
The wood. I want to make sure this is somewhat square.
Yeah.
I want exactly 23 feet to the top of it. Now you gotta come to this corner. I gotta go to that corner. Are you on the outside corner?
Yep.
Holy crap!
It's square.
It's square.
Can you believe that, guys? That don't happen too often at all.
That's about even that much effort. I mean, the good thing is, well, we're good. That's all that matters. All right, so last big board, and the rest is all just easy stuff.
That's good. You got this. You need screws then?
Yeah, I might need some shims and stuff too. I don't know. I have to look down the board and see how.
Are those?
See how I have 2x4s underneath it, like down there and down at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's to keep it straight, because you know this roof's a little wavy.
Okay.
It's probably your fault. Ow. That's what I get for being an ass.
Damn straight.
Or being funny.
No, you said it right the first time.
Get me that other bit and that and one more of them black screws.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for moving those.
Bicycle puppies. Such a nice day today, guys. Such a nice day today, guys. 75. Puppies are enjoying sunshine. Look at how nice it is.
The last of the nice days.
Tomorrow's gonna be nice too.
Warm.
75. And look at our timber sitting at his kingdom, watching over his kingdom. Right, Timber? What are you doing, huh? Are you looking for the squirrels, huh? Such a good doggy. Timber's got the best seat in the house. While we work.
All right, guys, before we get any farther along, we're gonna say goodbye to this one pine tree. I'm leaving the little one for now, but that one is over our array. I want to cut it down and before I get the solar panels on there, just in case something goes wrong, I break less stuff. So let's tie this guy up high, and
he's finally cutting him down, guys. I know many of you are probably like,
why?
Screaming and yelling, finally!
Why would you do that? Why would you cut down those poor innocent trees that aren't hurting anybody?
And the other, well, some of them are. Yeah, and the other half are screaming hallelujah because they've watched every single solar video and told you to cut the pines down.
It's probably like the solar doors shed, the shed doors. I'm probably not gonna insulate them for like 3 years.
Nope, you're gonna insulate them when we hit 60,000. So if people want us to insulate them, they better subscribe.
So I'm gonna go climb up here, tie this rope up as high as I can, and then we're gonna hook up the side-by-side to it with the winch, and I'm gonna cut it down. Sad day. Don't look at my tears. Like, this is just a big sappy mess. Pine needles. Look at our old panels. They didn't really get sappy the last couple years till this year, but look at my 100-watt panels that are real. Like, look at that. That's the one that was right underneath the tree.
And I just cleaned those.
Well, you didn't clean this one. You cleaned. That's why there's 5 nice ones, because these are the dirty ones. Like this. These two. Look at all the sap on them. Well, that's not good for production. Let me climb up here as high as I can and get this rope on the tree. Look at that, guys. We just cut down our Christmas tree for the year. Little full, a lot of sap. We should cut the top off and use it as a Christmas tree.
Not only did we get a Christmas tree out of the deal, but we've got a nice
Pine
log. We've never milled it, so we're gonna mill it and we'll figure out what we'll use it for. But
yeah, to do something cool with it, since I love this tree so much.
Yeah,
I tried very hard to save it.
Maybe make some shelves or something cool so we can put them like maybe in a mini cabin or something, or something.
It's so sunny over here now. Maybe I'll actually get a little bit of solar at the pole barn now.
Although we just took those panels down.
Well, we got those 10 panels we can put up over here if we really want.
Yeah. Hooray!
Didn't crush anything. That's
the other one he'll cut down later.
I want to get my solar array done.
Yeah, solar. So Jay's gonna get the array done here. Get the panels up so we can start making most of this sunshine today.
All right, guys, I was just gonna cut the one tree down and leave this one for another day, but we're already sappy, and we're gonna do something kind of cool with this tree. So let's cut the top of it off and get her done.
Something cool that people.
Man, we're just
meeting your guys' wishes finally.
Yeah.
It only took us 4.5 years.
We're stopping. We're not going to be stubborn anymore. And this is the year of prosperity. No more working on emotions, you know. So let's get this done.
Guys, it didn't die, nothing broke.
I'm not down yet though.
Well, you're strapped up there, so unless I come push you.
I'm not strapped in.
Well, the ladder's strapped.
Let me cut this flat one more time.
All right, so what do you guys think? What do you think we should do with this now? This post that we left here from this tree. Got any ideas?
New flagpole, second flagpole, third American flag.
What do you think? Let us know what you think we should put there in the comments. We've got an idea, but we'd like to hear from you.
There we go.
So this has been a long-awaited thing by many of you. Oh, you guys have been wanting us to do this for 3 years now. So it's done. It's over with. Mission accomplished. It only took us 3 years.
No going back now.
Yep.
Needless to say, I would really appreciate a woot woot in the comment section. One for the pine trees, but I've been meaning to ask for a woot woot for Jen too, because she's super awesome putting up with me all these years. So if we could throw a woot woot for Jen.
I love you.
And a woot woot for the pine trees.
Trees being gone, so.
All right, guys, took a little mini break. Have all 3 of our runners on now. The only thing charging the solar right now is the tracker, and it's pumping a few hundred watts in there. I think 400 or 500 watts. I have it turned off because it's moving and hitting me while I was trying to work. So before I start putting panels on here and doing some more wiring, I kind of sat here and stared at it, and I have my 2 wires from my stationary array, one male, one female, and then I have the other wires going over here and then underground to my tracking system. I'm going to set this whole array up as 2 arrays, 6 on top, 6 on bottom. That way the voltages are a little more reasonable, the amps are a little more reasonable. We'll talk all those details once we get it hooked up. But what I'm going to do is take my 2 wires that are running all the way over here to my tracker, since I'm taking my tracker down anyway. I'm going to dig those up, pull them up out of the ground, and I'm going to use that wire for the far away positive or negatives for each array, because they're both going to be in series. 6 on series on the top, 6 in series on the bottom. Those 2 separate arrays could go into our inverter charger from SunGold independently. I think it works better that way anyway, so we might as well do it in 2 arrays, and then if one fails, we have a backup. Or if one has a little bit of shade on it for one reason and it's blocked a little bit, we'll have a backup to a backup. Guys, sorry about the wind. It's always windy up here in the fall and winter. So I have all the incoming lines from the solar array disconnected and marked, so I know which one is which. These 2 breakers, I installed a second breaker, one for each MPPT charge controller going down here and into our inverter charger. So once I get the panels laid in here, I'll know which, if the positives are going to be at that end or negatives are going to be at that end. If I was running these in all series, all 12 of them, I would run the ones at the top upside down, and then they could swap into the bottom one and just make a big U shape back here to the solar shed. Then we would just have 2 wires, and a positive and a negative. But since we're doing 2 arrays, I think I'm going to try to keep all the negatives on that side, yada yada yada. So let's get some panels in here.
So losing stuff. Look how fancy.
All right, guys, I got all the wires connected. So everything's connected. I have power getting to my breakers. Let's click the breakers on. My grayish wires are my negatives. My black wires are my positives. I come over here to my two breakers. They're turned off. I checked voltage. Each array has 240 volts worth of 220 to 240 volts of PV power, DC power, coming to the top of these breakers. So let's click them on. We're running right now, but we're running on battery power. All our batteries are 3/4 of the way full. No charging because we have no PV input. PV input 0. 0, 0. Let's click these on. Oop, green charging lights on. We got voltage. Got 170 volts for the PV1. PV1's 160, PV2's 180. PV2 is our top array. So PV2 has more voltage because so even though they're both the same voltage amount of panels, the tracker is blocking the bottom panels right now. So let's see what our ampage shouldn't be much because the sun's almost down. Hit the arrows here and this will go up. That tells you 0.8 amp and 0.6 amp, so that's barely anything. Kilowatt, 0.1 kilowatts, so 100 watts and 200 watts. So we're getting 300 watts between both arrays, which is better than nothing. Considered it's, you know, sun's almost down. So we're gonna get a bucket of soapy water. We'll either clean these in the morning or clean them tonight. We'll see. Jen and I have been busting it all day. Yay! We got a couple of boards. Look at that, guys. 3,600 watts. All half of it being blocked with my tracker, so we're gonna take this down tomorrow too. It won't bother us till the afternoon, so we'll take that down in the morning. Again, nothing holding these down. They're just in here. The other ones did that for 3 years. They were fine. So the 2x8 is underneath. 2x8 is underneath, and then we frame it in. Make sure it's square. We got pretty lucky. Everything was square. So I have to cut the board for this side. Put this 2x4 on and then we're good for the night. I'll get the board on top tomorrow or when we're cleaning it. Pretty exciting